Now, since the market closed on March 11th, the day the WHO declared COVID-19 a global pandemic, the S&P's up 34%. So it's Pfizer, but other big pharma COVID developers like J&J, AstraZeneca, and Merck are up much less. And Pfizer, compared to Moderna, is much less. Moderna has soared, a multiple of times. It's like 500% or something. Here to talk about the pharma sector is Sel Hardy, analyst at CFRA. Vaccines, Sel, have never been a big moneymaker. I mean, it's a consistent business. We've seen companies involved in the past. And that's initially what I think. If you just try to draw connect the dots to bottom line results someday versus vaccines, and you use actual price to earnings multiples and all the things we use, it's tough. It's tough to get that excited, except maybe about Moderna that has a new platform for a lot of different medicines. Is that what's happening?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. So I think there are actually several factors that kind of came into play explaining why these stocks didn't move as much as expected. We think that Moderna is a pure mRNA play, and the main catalyst was the mRNA-based vaccine. So it was clearer to understand and invest compared to the other ones. For Pfizer, we think lately we are seeing a good run in the stock, but it took a while. Also, when you look at companies like Johnson & Johnson, Merck, and Pfizer, those are big pharma companies. They're more complex to evaluate, and there are a lot of different factors coming into play. For example, in Johnson & Johnson's cases, other factors are impacting valuations, such as lawsuits, opioid-related lawsuits, talc-related lawsuits. And now that we are over the elections, there's also the high scrutiny about lower drug prices. So all these also impact, essentially, the valuation of these big pharmaceutical companies. So after we've seen the biggest after we've seen the initial high efficacy data, we've seen more movements positively in these stocks, we think.
There's not going to be a lot of pricing flexibility either, is there? Not only from a public opinion perspective, but you're going to have, a huge group, the U.S. government, a huge body that's going to be negotiating prices for all these things. So I just don't see how. Not that this is about money for any of these companies, because it's not just about money, but I don't see how there becomes a big payday based just on the COVID-19 vaccine.
That's a good point. We also looked at how the profitability was going to come into play for these companies. And Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca came up front saying that this was a non-profit effort. We think this might be the case in the beginning, but we don't know a lot of things still about the COVID-19 virus, whether we'll need repeat vaccinations, whether similar to the flu vaccine, we'll need to have it every year. So there might be actually good profitability opportunities going forward. We just don't know enough yet. And we're thinking these companies might be looking into those opportunities for the future.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.